practice the Buddhist meditation, it's very important to know that how this path make you clear, how it help for our life, because that if you don't know how these techniques help you to develop your wisdom, that inside you it can create a doubt, because you don't know how it happened, you don't know what is the system. So it is very important to know that how the wisdom arises and what is the wisdom. When you observe the breathing, your inhalation, exhalation, it helps you to expand your mental capacity. Your mind start to become so clear and sharp. So, as example, that when you keep focus little by little, following the breathing, you start to see this breathing and the nature of the breathing. So, through that, as example, inhalation, exhalation, and then when you slowly start to see, you start to see the change. You start to see inhalation changing, and it's also moving, and the exhalation come and exhalation also change. So once you start to see this within your breathing, this knowledge you can apply to anything. As example, if the problems come to us, then suddenly what you can do, what's happening inside, you start to see the nature of the problem. And you know yourself, it is possible to change. Then the struggle go away. Why we struggling? Because sometimes when things happening, we don't believe it can change. It's any situation, any thoughts. When the thought arises, if you know it is possible to change, there is no struggle for that. Itself you become neutral inside. Even though situations happening outside, you know it cannot be there like that. It's possible to change. Once you understand this dharma, from your atom to this entire universe, so whatever happening, you can apply that. See how the mind become neutral. See the mind, how the mind, go away from the struggle. Because how you knew this? It's observing the breathing. This is the teachings come within your own life. Because you cannot find something somewhere and put it to your life. So the whatever that you understand through your own life is more important, and you can trust it, and you know it, how it happened. So observing breathing also the same. It takes you to reality. What is the reality? It's change. Once you know this within your own breathing, that whatever happening outside, and you know it it's possible to change. Then whatever happening, you start to say it's okay. Why you say that? Because you know it cannot be there like. One day it should go away. So this inside, being inside neutral is very important. So otherwise what happening? When the thought arises, we start to think about it, and maybe we cannot find solutions, and we thinking, and inside us with its fear arise, and we become worried, and wherever the fear and worry, the stress arise, then it's go to your blood system and break down all the immune system, and change the pattern, everything, and you get physically injured. So it's very important to understand this, everything governed by mind, the way you look. There was a deity, and one day he came to Buddha and asked, "Venerable sir, your monks eat very less food. They don't eat much food, and even they don't have families. They themselves they live, and very minimum facilities they have, but still they look like very pleasant. What is the reason?" So the Buddha said, "Atitang nanu sochanti, nappa jappanti nagatang, paccupannena yapenti, tena vanno pasidati." This whole Mahasangha, Atitang nanu sochanti, that whatever happened in the past, they don't repeat it again in their mind. Nappa jappanti nagata, the future, they don't worry about too much about the future. Paccupannena yapenti, they always keep their mind in the present moment. Tena vanno pasidati, that's why they look like this. So this is very, it's a look like, when we look about the dharma and the wisdom, understanding, and people think they need very big things, they need very difficult things. If somebody come to you and looking for a wisdom, if you show something, watch your breath, and it is, see it is, moving in and out, and what is the dharma is impermanent. Within your own life, if the life is impermanent and everything impermanent, and they don't want to understand that, People start to believe if we give something very far away, very difficult sutra saying something, this, the wisdom you have to, climb this mountain, that mountain, like that. If you show very difficult way, they start to believe. But the dharma is the nature. Dharma is your life. What else? If we find out something, not belong to our life, how we can apply it to our life? It cannot apply. So the wisdom of the dharma should apply to your life. Then it should be, in your life. It cannot come from somewhere else. That is what then you have to look yourself, that we have this word and we looking for things, what this is. So understanding your own life. Once you understand your own life, it take you to another dimension. in your life. Once you start to go into that place, you start to see different things. Like that, little by little, you have to develop. So then where you start? That the starting point is your mind. Why? Because this everything held by mind. Head to toes, this the body may be 5 feet tall. That's it. And it's also every day changing, following the food and everything. According to the time and space, it's changing. So, but the mind, we holding everything and we following it. So then if you look very carefully, that you will see this mind, that the thoughts, it follow your habits, fast experience. So that's why we experience the same kind of pain and pleasure every day. Why? The thought arises following the past experience. In case if you able to release your mind from your past experience, what will happen to your mind? Just think. In case if you release all your past and erase everything for a moment, and you start to experience something, what will happen? You start to see very clearly the present moment, and then you can understand how things happening like this. So the important thing is how you can release your mind from past experience. Through the past experience, if we start to look again and again and again, what we see? We see the past. So that's why the most designers, the creators, engineers, they try to think new things. That's the way they design something new, not to follow the past. Then clearly something new start to come. But if in life, if we look the past again and again and again and repeat the past tomorrow, then what we'll experience? Whatever we experienced yesterday, it's going to happen tomorrow also. That's why sometimes people, wherever they go, they do the same mistakes. And wherever they go, they're the same character. We call it character. Oh, he's like that person. Oh, he's like this person. So the important thing inside you, try to break down the pattern in your thoughts. Don't be okay, I am like this person. That means you follow the past. So try to release your mind from the habits. So that then you start to experience something new. And it helps you to see things very clearly as it is. Otherwise, we see around us our own mind. What we like, if we see something, oh, I say I like that. And if I don't like something, I say I don't like, I don't want to see. That means I deal with my own thoughts. But if you very clearly see something and without your mental involvement with the past experience, you start to see what is happening there. Otherwise, once our personal view come to us, it makes us blind. So when you then experience something, even in the meditation also, so whatever happened yesterday or last week or last month, And sometimes your own ideas, when you sit for meditation, it can happen for meditation also. You stay with your mental view, not really with the technique. But if you can unclutch the mind from that your personal view and just stay there and see what's happening, then you start to see. So that's why the technique is important. Like players, when they play any kind of game, what they follow? They follow the techniques. And sometimes according to the person they moderate the technique. But basically everywhere the technique is important. So like that, once you detach your mind from your personal view and just you surrender to the technique, then you start to see what it takes you to the path. So that's why from the Buddha to now, generation to generation, generation to generation, we follow that. Otherwise we see our own mind, someone else see their own mind, and everybody has their own view, and I think like this way, no, I experience like this way, it is better for me like this way. But once you forget this, all the experience yourself and surrender to the technique, itself, in that very moment you release this inside tangles. Once you release this inside tangles with your mental ideas, the mind start to become relaxed. Then you slowly get it. Otherwise, that the people believe that the happiness, with the outside things. That's why that deity asks, how that people can, your followers can be happy without food. People believing so much about food. People believing that the food can, bring us the happiness. How many times we eat and where it goes. In that very moment it creates the happiness, and that what happening next time, you start to look for something better than that. So even you feel happy with that the current you create inside take you to different place. Why? That current start was something good, better than today. Then you have to give it tomorrow, something like that. Then if you cannot give it, then it's finished. It start to give you troubles. And the social life and being others also, gathering others also same. And the people think we have to gather. Of course we have to have good, friends and people around us. They can change us. But somehow that the loneliness is not just being with people. You cannot escape from loneliness being with people. Even if you are with the 100 people, and sometimes inside you feel lonely. But the person who developed the mind, he don't feel loneliness, and he enjoy the silence. He don't feel loneliness. And why? It's always he stay with the moment, and he experience something inside him, and he see things in a different way. So otherwise, that to escape from loneliness, we go into the society and we being with the people. How far we can do that? Like we stay with the group and with the people. How long we can stay, and we make a good friendship and they become friends. You think every day you can be with them? They will come to cemetery with you? No. One day they say bye bye, I have to go. That day what is happening, if it is a strong friendship, you have to suffer. Oh my friend, go out. Then from that day what is happening? So with the outside, we need relationship, connections, but don't try to fulfill inside. Don't try to enrich inside from this outside. Why? Possible to change. How you know that? Because the lessons with the breathing that bring us. So try to stand yourself with your own feet. If you get a support, if you get a help every day and you get addicted to that addiction start to take you to big suffering. One. Like that, you have to see that the way you get even the happiness is very important. It is just not the being happy. The way you get it is the important. Why? Because it creates a habit inside you. Happiness will come and goes, but the system you create inside take you to another level. And then one day if you cannot surrender to that system, it like a snake start to bite you back. I like that, we follow our own, pleasure and happiness to fulfill our inside, to enrich our life. But finally, we are going through suffering. If we look very carefully, our own desires took us to that level. But if you know step by step, everything and every moment possible to change. And when the change comes, you're not going to be worried. Why? Because that understanding you had, even though you went through that and you knew it's going to happen there, then when it's happening, you might become okay with it. But if you had a different kind of opposite hopes in your mind, what is happening? When something happens, this side pressure going up, the struggle going up. So that's why when you have the clear understanding and it neutral your mind. So when you observe the breathing or practicing meditation, finally what you see the change within you. Once you see this change within you, then you can very easily apply it to everything outside you. So whatever happening outside, why this everything give us the hard time? Because change. But once you know everything possible to change, and whatever the situations come, it also go away, then when it happening, you neutral. That is the Dharma. Slowly you can get through the practicing meditation. There are the many things, but this is very important thing. Why people struggle? Why people fight? Why people hold the anger? Why people struggling with things? Again and again and again, why people go to the wrong way? Because they don't see the change. But if you see everything is changing outside, you not hold it. It make you free from fear. It make you free from suffering inside. So to see that, just believing is not enough. You have to experience it inside. We can believe many things without experiencing. So, but it's not going to work like that. Is the beauty of Buddhism. Just that believing not going to work. The beauty of the Buddhism is experience, and you experience. Then you understand. So, atitang nanu sochanti, and it is not repeating the past. Nappa jappanti nagata, forgetting everything and waiting for something didn't happen. No, this is not the life. Pachuppanne ne apenti. Just with the necessary condition things you have to understand. According to the time and space, you have to adjust and change, and you just go with the flow. Then inside the happiness arises. But the problem is, why people don't practice this? This is very simple. That's why they don't do it. As example, from the pre-clinic, if they get the medicine, and sometimes they don't care, at the time they don't get it, they don't use it, don't drink it. But if you go to doctor, go to see the doctor appointment, $100, and for checkup and everything, and another $500 for the medicine. Even you get the same medicine, and for the medicine, if you pay another $500, you never miss the time, and even middle of the night you wake up and you drink. Like that. Dharma is nature, But if the people say, if we say, okay, look at this flower, it is impermanent, it is changed, and look at your breath, if we start to say, oh, in this sutra, it says like this, and some Pali words, Sanskrit words, and chanting and little bit, and people even they don't understand, they follow it something. That's the way life is. So what is real wisdom in life is what you experience. First you have to accept that. Then you can go to the depth of the life and see why these things happen. But if you really don't accept this, the real life, you will never find anything. The Buddhism not about out of the space or something like that. Buddhism about this life. There are many kind of science and technologies. Nothing wrong with that. But the Buddhism is mainly based with the life. So that is what you have to understand. And the meditation is based with the life. When you practice the meditation, it make you clear with your life. Otherwise, not some light come from somewhere and some powers come and start to levitate you. These things very dangerous nowadays. If you start to levitate, you cannot be a free person. All the doctors will come and take you and start to cut, piece by piece and see how this happened. You cannot be like that. So like that, that the understanding is the important. When something happens, if you see that and if you understand it clearly what it is, that is the wisdom. What else you want? When something happening, if you clearly understand what it is, what is happening, what is the reason, why it is happening there like that, what else you want in this life? So try to get into your own life and see what is there, and then you will see. So to see that, what you need to do, you have to release your mind from past and future. And just stay with the moment. And then you will see what is happening this. And then that understanding will take you deeper, deeper, deeper to your own mind. Then you start to maybe experience things in a different way. But I don't know about that things. But what I can experience is, I can experience when you see things very clearly, it take out you from the fear. And it make you release from your mind. And then no any kind of hassle or doubt what this is, why these things happen. You see the reasons and you see the result and you see the way it happens. So that understanding take you to the free zone in your mind. Try to get into that, and you will see how it become bigger and powerful. Once it become powerful with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and with this everything at the moment, once you understand how these things happening, and there is something you can experience. Okay. So is there any questions, please?
Is this sutra, what is the name of this sutra?
Aranyaka Sutta. Aranyaka Sutta. Aranyaka.
Could you spell it?
Aranaka. Aranyaka.
Aranyaka Sutra.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Aranyaka Sutta.
Wonderful, sir. What about like the future thoughts? Because mostly besides past thoughts, always
It like
inside
this.
the mind.
It like this. That if you really don't know what is the present, you will never understand what is the future. You have to understand what is the current situation. Once you more clearly understand the current situations, you start to see what happening in the future. If you don't see the current situations, you never can understand what is happening in the future. How the business, people think about the business. If they really know what is the present situation, they know what is happening, in the future. If they don't know the today's situations, and it's like just the dream. Even in the political situation, they become more clear with the present situation. When you start to be clear with the present, you start to see what happening. Don't worry about the future. When you become more clear, you start to see it. It seems like that, when someone do something and we say, that he going to experience this kind of things. How we say that? Because when we see that present situation, how he behave like this, and we start to see, result. So like that, once you more become clear with the present, don't worry, the past, future you start to see. Even you can go to the past also. You start to see past also and why this happened this way. This both paths start to become clear when you start to see the present.
In most cultures, when you talk about death,
Mm.
They get upset. People say, don't scare me, don't talk about bad things, don't take away my happiness. But in Buddhism, I found that they are more thinking and talking.
Yeah. There is
only about
it's
death.
a meditation, death meditation.
Yeah, and as I said, there's a so this is to the most culture, not almost beside. I don't know any other culture beside Buddhism that they like to talk or think or about that. So how do you explain this? But those
It's
people,
like this,
they think they are robbing their happiness.
It's like this. The difference is that they want to live. They attach to this sensation. They attach to this life. They want to stay with this life. You know? That's why when you come to the temple, if the priest please them, oh, you very beautiful, nice, now you look good, and people happy, And if you come to the temple and start to tell, be careful, now you getting old, you have to think and this thing, and people don't like. Because that our nature, as ordinary people, they like to keep attached to this. But if you practice the death meditation, you start to understand the reality of the life. It makes you so strong. See that it happening everywhere and to everybody. So, and when you start to remind it yourself, you start to become good person. And you not neglect things. You not become a lazy person. Why? You know anytime it can happen to you anywhere. So you become so alert and active person. So these kind of things. And it like this. I'll give you an example. That bungee jump. And the parachute. This both jumping. So the Buddhist meditation is like a jump with the parachute. Once you jump and it make you free, it release you. But the bungee jump, it tied from the rope. You are not free. Even though it jump, you cannot be free. So the Buddhism, these techniques, make you free. It's not tied to things. It releases you.
Can we explain like this, that the people, the culture, that they don't want to talk death, or they scared, or they think it's very bad, they're robbing them from their happiness, because they're attached to all this worldly thing.
The thing
And
is,
then the death taking away from all this wealth or job or friend. So they don't want to talk about.
No, the thing is this. When we talk about things, that we have to understand the person also, to whom we talk, according to his knowledge. Sometimes we have to adjust. So that's why the person also need to develop his mind, and he also has to have certain kind of wisdom to understand this thing. So it depends with the audience also. That's why it says that to understand Buddhism, you have to have certain kind of higher level. Otherwise, you cannot grab this. Like if the person without education, and it is just not about the death, just even for his own room darkness, he get afraid. See, it is not forget about death. It is finally happening somewhere, and but for his own thing, from his own bed to the restroom, he cannot walk without a light. He is afraid. It comes because the fear. The reason is ignorance. When there is no ignorance, there is no chance for fear. Once you understand, there is no chance for fear. You know? Why people so afraid? Because they don't see the reality. They don't see the reality.
They ignore the death, so they scared.
Scared.
But if they don't ignore, so yeah.
You know, if they really it doesn't matter whatever the religion or whatever the culture, if the person very clearly see, you know, what is the nature of life, you know, there is no, you know, nobody can make him fear for it. But the thing is, people, you know, blind inside with their own desires, and they don't see things.
Don't you think they scared of death because of they have so much attachment,
Yeah.
and this attachment is causing them suffering, and they scared of death. But in Buddhism, since they don't attach to things, so they are happier and they don't scared of death.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's right.
Because, for example, in my own culture, you know, if you go to a party or you are with your friend or with somebody, as soon as you talk about that, you know, everybody tell you, why did you talk about that? You know, why you say that? I mean, to change the mood of the
Yeah.
my
some
mood,
people,
mood of the party
Yeah.
or mood of the, you know.
Even some people,
Time.
you know, it's everywhere. You know, even when you give a message for someone, you know, about the death, it's like something very bad, and you know, but in Buddhism, we always, you know,
It's fact
used
of
to
life.
deal with the death. We always meditation, thinking about our death, you know, and we take it normal. We know, we see it happening with the every breath, because your inhalation should die to give the exhalation.
My oldest sister was a doctor in New York. And I was much younger when I was in college student. And she used to tell me, you know, in the hospital, the biggest problem she has is when the old people, they're in their deathbed, they're dying, they really get scared. They're scared, and then the family or the people say, put them tranquilizer, you know, relaxing thing. I said, we know that this volume, you know, their whole system is shut down. As soon as we put them tranquilizer, they're going to die. The hearts die. So my sister used to say, now we don't know what to do. The guy is scary, nervous, you know, the last day of his life. And we know if we put this, you know, tranquilizer, they're going to die. Because their system don't take it anymore. You know, they're so sensitive now. So that's why, you know, if their whole life they're scared of death, you know, and then when the time comes, you know, they panic. Or the people around them panic too. But if they, for many years, they practice that meditation, or they talk about it, or they accept it, so that's my assumption. So the panic is not there, you know.
There is no way to become, you know, like that. Okay, we do loving kindness meditation for a moment ourselves. Keep your back straight and relax yourself. Palms together and repeat after me. Maya, Dhammanu, Dhamma, Patipatya, Buddham, Pujemi, Dhamman, Pujemi, Sangham, Pujemi, Attaya, Himaya, Patipatya, Jati, Jara, Vyadi, Maranam,
Maranamha
Paribunjisami
Paribunjisami
Idam me
Idam me
Punyam
Punyam
Asavakaya
Asavakaya
Vanhotu Sabbatukka
Sabbadukkha
Pamucchatu.
Pamucchatu.
May you be well, happy and peaceful. No harm come to you, no difficulties come to you, no problems come to you. May you also have patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life, and finally may you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Say sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.